Hey everyone, welcome back on day 12 of my Christmas Advent calendar. I'm back with another story. Fired from my job, but received a year worth of pay and got my boss fired. That sounds such a little bonus at the end of your title. This happened in the early 2010s before the advancement of technology in video editing and content creation. I was hired as a content creator for a university that wanted to leverage YouTube to kickstart their branding campaign. The pay was low, roughly $2,200, and in those days, there were not that many video content creators around, and the process usually took a long time from start to finish. For me, it still takes a pretty long time to create a video from start to finish. I was hired, and on my second day, my manager presented my KPI of 85 10-minute videos in 52 weeks, which was impossible for a one-man team in those days. This meant I had to do scripting, producing, casting talents, shooting videos, composing music. They were too cheap to pay for a royalty-free music subscription, and editing, all of which I had to use my own equipment and software because their cameras and computers were so old they simply couldn't handle the strain of even doing things in 720p, much less 1080p. This sounds like every single company out there. I tried to let my manager know, but she just smiled encouragingly, telling me to give it a try, assuring me if the videos were good, the quantity would not be what she was focused on. Hearing this, I agreed to give it a try. My manager treated me well in the first month. However, one day when she found out I was a smoker, her attitude changed overnight. A colleague had actually done a facepalm when I told her about it, and she let me know that the manager hated smokers and often advocated to get them fired. How is that any of her business? She started nitpicking me on everything from smelling like cigarette smoke after my breaks, coming in 5-10 minutes late despite doing more than 4 hours of overtime daily, not being contactable during break times, the list goes on. She absolutely shouldn't contact you during your break. But I soldiered on because I just wanted to do the work and do it well. 5 months in, I was called into the director's office where I saw my manager putting on her best displeased but graceful face, and I felt my stomach drop. The director told me that she was disappointed because she had heard that I was falling behind on my work, and it was already halfway through the year and I had only completed 30 out of 85 videos. I tried to explain that I had been working my butt off on these videos. I literally worked 6 days out of the week, over 60 hours just to do what needed to be done, and that being a one-man army made things impossible, and also the fact that the videos I put up grossed the highest views ever on their YouTube page. I also recounted how my manager said that she was looking for quality videos over quantity. The director dismissed this and stated that the KPI was simply 85 videos in a year, and since it was almost half a year in with my numbers at less than half, she felt it prudent to cut the cord early. Now, my manager had snorted, saying, "We'll find a professional production house to finish your work." Are you sure you can afford it? You were forcing this man to do everything by himself in the past 5 months. Why didn't you think to maybe hire someone else next to him? Now you're saying you're gonna hire a full production house. Sounds so ridiculous. The director had given her an odd look, but nodded in her support nonetheless, telling me, "You don't have to worry, manager will get the job done." Will she though? That was when a light bulb went off in my head. Seeing as I was the content professional in the office, one of my jobs was to keep a database of production houses to use it in the event we needed to do a shoot that required more resources, and I was sure that they would be using the production houses in my database as my manager had no contacts in the production industry. So I changed the contact numbers and messed up all the emails on all the entries except one. The one, I had a friend working as a junior director, not an assistant director, but a director assigned to smaller video projects. I gave him a call and told him of my plan, and sure enough, within 2 days, they were calling to come in to pitch. I told him that I had a plan that was a win-win for us. It would instantly help him and put him on the fast track to a director position by bringing in that much business to his production house, and it would also benefit me financially. I would teach him exactly how to pitch to win over the boss and the director, and in turn, his company would pay me a standard finder fee of 15%. He agreed instantly and immediately put me on the line with his general manager, who upon realizing this was to be 6 months of work for high 6-digit payout, instantly agreed and drew up a contract. OP was cooking here. As it turns out, after I gave them a metaphorical step-by-step playbook, they were the perfect fit. Somehow, understanding the needs and style of the university as well as the sort of themes the university wanted to feature. The director and my former boss were amazed that my friend's production house was so familiar with their content that they signed them up on the spot. I'm sure you made more money with this deal than if you would have stayed the year and finished the project. Now, even back then, using a production house back then was not cheap. Yeah, that's why I asked, can they even afford this? Every video that they produced could cost double to triple my monthly salary, given that they had specialized people for each function: producer, director, director of photography, grapher, sound person, video editing, assistant director, production assistant, etc. But this meant that they could complete a video every 2-3 days. So yes, they produced 50 videos in a span of 4 months for over 100 months of my salary. And I sat back and collected healthy 15%, which was about 15 months of my salary. And you deserved every penny of it. This allowed me to put money aside for a holiday and the rest to further my studies with a respected film school overseas. I thought my plan ended here and I had gotten back to my former bosses. But to my surprise, I received a call from my colleague while I was holidaying in Bali one day. This was the same colleague who had face-palmed when I told her that my manager had found out that I was a smoker. She told me that my former manager had been fired and my director given a massive blasting by the chancellor of the university. I'm so happy that she called you and let you know about what happened. I think you really deserve some satisfaction after what they put you through. The content creation project, which I was hired for, was only given a budget equating to about a year and a half of my salary, and they had exceeded that budget by over 10 times. Yep, they couldn't afford it. My former manager was so desperate to ensure that her content creation project could be completed that she had thrown caution to the wind, paying anything to get the job done so that she could show the director that she had completed the project and had approved the massive spend without getting consent from the director. So this is how I got my friend a super fast promotion to a full director in his production house, and a year of pay after getting unfairly fired from my job. This story is amazing. OP, you are my hero. Honestly, I could watch a movie made about this. I still cannot understand how they didn't thought about hiring someone else next to you instead of going from 0 to 100 and hire a full production house. Of course, I understand that your manager hated the fact that you were a smoker, but I don't understand how the director didn't see through the situation. Anyway, let's read some comments. As a fellow professional, I cringe when a client says, "My nephew can do all this with his phone, why should I pay you?" Like, ugh. Yeah, I'm sure he can. That's a real win-win situation. Well, not for your manager, but she earned exactly what she deserved. The number of people who lack understanding of content creation processes, but expect it all to be done fast, cheap, and high quality are legion. May they forever lose their jobs. Yeah, and this is the reason why we stopped working for companies, sitting at home, and creating our own YouTube channels. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe and see you tomorrow.